Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Season Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 37th of all X-Space Weekly DAO Updates series. This X-Space was held October 3, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, number 37. We're locked up today, guys. We're talking about TVL updates and more. Join this conversation. How do you join the conversation? Let me tell you. Hi, I'm Pulse Digital. I'm in the K9 account. I'll be your guide for the DAO update today. You can participate in a couple of different ways. You can request a speaker spot. That's the best place to be. Gives you an opportunity to be part of the panel, ask the questions, use your voice. If you cannot do that, if you are unable to use your mic or otherwise cannot be on the panel because of wherever you are, you could also use the comment section. Bottom right, purple button down there. You can comment, you can share your memes, you can tell us what you're aping into down there. Whatever you want to do, it gets the numbers moving down there for me, so it's good for me. And we'll go through and read those throughout the show and try and integrate those comments and questions into the show. Remember to tag people. If you've got something specific for Buzz or Turtle as we go through the show, tag them. It helps us to find it faster. The share button works as far as I know. You can share the spaces. You can put it on your timeline. You could even send a DM to somebody and let them know that we were live and they could pull up and be part of the show. And last is emojis, which are free. You can press it as many times as you want. There's no penalties. And it gives us an idea of how you're feeling about the show, what your emotions are. That's why they're called emojis. So without further ado, that's my intro part, but I know you guys are all waiting here to talk to Buzz and Turtle and everybody about updates this week. So Buzz, what's going on, my guy? How you been? It's been 7 days. What's up?
Hey, it's been a busy week. I think that the community has probably gotten the sentiment now that if things are quiet, there's usually something brewing. So it's definitely been a busy week. We obviously launched the product on September 18th, and nothing's really stopped since then. Nothing has become dull in our world to continue building. Of course, we had a week of flurry of getting people onboarded to using the product. We've been crushing all-time highs in terms of TVL on Shibarium, and kind of really gaining market share as the largest project on Shibarium. But it's been really heads down and building some new products that are going to be benefiting the K9 ecosystem, providing data, and also starting to think about what next year looks like as well, because we are done the Q4 roadmap as was initially put out in our light paper. Finished that in Q3, but we're into Q4 now, and what that kind of means for us is delivering on a few extra special surprises and product enhancements that we've come up with, and also figuring out what's next in terms of expansion.
And when you start talking about already having Q4 done, how does that feel? Because I know you're ahead of schedule, but what does that mean to you? What does it mean to the dev team?
I think it's just a testament to this same sentiment that when K9 kind of puts out something and says we're going to do something as a DAO, it gets done on time and on budget as people expect, and hopefully it actually goes above and beyond people's expectations. When we put out a date or something that's going to be done, it means a lot to us, and I think that we just take a lot of pride as a development team in making sure that when something is put out, like a date, it gets done, and it's exceeding people's expectations. There's no, oh, we'll get it done next week, or oh, it's going to be a day late. It gets done regardless of how much sleep deprivation it is, or how much stress and anxiety in getting it done. But I think that's what we all felt, and just a lot of pride in being able to deliver products that we control. But also in regards to our Q4 roadmap, it's something to be recognized that there are aspects of that roadmap that are outside of our control. So while the roadmap is done from a technical capability, so for those who are familiar with that portion of the roadmap, it's a product improvement. So it allows for other validators to plug into K9 and benefit from liquid staking. But as the Shibarium chain is developed, we know that right now, at least, validators need to be approved to go online. And so K9 cannot be the entity that's approving validators to go online, but we can certainly add any validators to our tech stack. So the technology from our perspective is done, but the onboarding of new validators to the entire ecosystem is not something that we control. So whenever we control things, we're getting it done, and it's very meaningful.
That's got to feel good. And I know the same thing is true for you, Turtle, over there, having watched all this and participated, being done ahead of time. I personally enjoy getting done with my work a little bit early. If I can get out of the office, get out of the shop a little early. Does it feel good for you too?
Yeah, man. I think Buzz said it really well. We pride ourselves on operation and execution, right? Like all you can do is control what you say and what you do. And we really work hard to make sure that we give the right dates and fair dates to the community. And then, as he said, no matter how much sleep deprivation, which I can attest to, is required, we work hard to hit those goals. The only difference is, in a normal world, it might be time to take a vacation or take a break or whatever. I think what we're seeing internally is everyone's just working harder to make sure that we spread the message on Bone and the opportunities there, and for K9 as well, and really digging into research for what the future year could bring for K9. Right, we have a kind of a open world of opportunity in front of us. There's a lot of considerations, but that's something that has everyone really fired up. So more hours are going in, even though the product's live, maybe than even before.
And this might be an unusual question, but for your experiences on the forum and watching it evolve over time, when you look forward and think about what next year brings, and I know this is impossible, do you think about improvements to the forum? Have you come across anything that you're putting down in notes? Are you making plans for what you're doing there going ahead?
Yeah, that actually applies to both the website and the forum. There's, plans in motion behind the scenes, still relatively early, to make as many overhauls or upgrades there as makes sense, and that does include the forum. I'm not ready to exactly share a list of what might change or how things might change, but, adding more blockchain connectivity to the forum is something that's on my list, for airdrop purposes, for example. So seeing what we can do there, hopefully share a little more about that in a couple weeks.
And one thing, and I'm going to ask this, and you don't have to answer it. If you've no comments as the answer, that's fine. But more Easter eggs? ? I know that's something you guys. The more you get time to play with things, I expect to go looking for unusual things on the forums. Are you playing with any ideas like that?
There are some holidays coming up. There are Easter egg ideas. Always open to new creative ideas too. So feel free to slide me a DM there, Shane. But yeah, good question, no answer.
Because I do have ideas. I wasn't just saying it because I had ideas, but I love holiday stuff. Any community I've ever been a part of, we lean hard into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, because there's so many things that line up for content generation and for ideas. So as I go ahead, I will think about that too, because it is fun. It gives people a reason to go to the forums at forum.k9finance.com. Thursday's your day for signups. Remember, half off on signups now, only on Thursdays, forum.k9finance.com. It's double free, half off. If I could come up with anything that would drive people to go over there, even if it was just little holiday things or little quests of some sort. Yeah, I think that'd be a fun idea. Funk, you threw your hand up there. I know you had a comment. We were talking about wrapping up 24 early on these roadmaps and stuff, something to feel good about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like Turtle said, definitely there's after the product releases and then all that excitement happens, there is kind of a little quiet where as Turtle said, everyone's working harder than ever before. But in addition to that, where you kind of really get redirected and you start looking towards the future, all eyes have been on this product. All eyes have been, and all work has been going towards kind of like that moment 2 weeks ago and the weeks that follow. But now really being able to look ahead and figure out the best ways to market the product and get the most user base on the product and really get the most out of it, because that's one thing that I see a lot of businesses that I interview really struggle with. They release the product and they expected all their dreams just to come true before their eyes, but really that's when a lot of the real marketing work begins. And that's what we're doing, is talking and brainstorming constantly strategies for how to get the most amount of Bone delegated, but also the most amount of K9 staked as well. I think that's one thing I've been thinking about, is making sure that while we all get excited about acquiring Bone, and we all get excited about delegating the Bone for the escrow K9, that the K9 itself is an amazing earning opportunity, and potentially with less steps. So we definitely want to keep a lot of emphasis as well on advertising how good K9 really is, because it's an amazing token.
And you mentioned the amount of tokens that have been staked. That's one of the things that's up in the pins and stuff. And Buzz wanted to highlight some of the metrics since the launch. So when we're talking about those numbers, Buzz, what stands out most to you? Because there's been so much Bone and so much K9, but refresh some of the numbers for people who might not have been here last week.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers thrown around, right? So I'll try to distill it down to some of the ones that I find to be the most important, the most exciting for our community, rather. So there's been 90 billion K9 that has been either staked or locked into Bone Crusher, which is far exceeding any sort of forward-looking models that we've put together. So the rate at which people are trusting that, like, hey, K9's building really cool stuff and is bringing value, and the rate of adoption there is exceeding our expectations, which is awesome. And that is a very, very material percentage of our circulating supply. So there's a lot of K9 being locked up there, and worth pointing out that the majority of this K9 is being locked for a long period of time. I think the average lock right now is about 10 and a half months. So a huge portion of K9 is locked up for nearly a year. And I think we're continuing every day to see more and more K9 being staked or locked. And what I think is equally as exciting, just because right now our mission as a DAO has always been to bring DeFi to SHIB via Shibarium. And there was a lot of discussion last week on Dune Analytics, or sorry, not Dune, DeFi Llama, to be integrating Shibarium analytics onto their platform. And what people saw is that there's a huge spike in Shibarium TVL that coordinates with the exact day that K9 was launched. So within a few days, Shibarium TVL hit an all-time high. If you go to Dune Analytics, you can see now that K9 is the largest project in the ecosystem in terms of TVL. It's 90% of the TVL that is on ShibaSwap even. And it's a clear catalyst to really bringing value to the chain. And of course, like we talked about last week, it's just a start. More to go, right? We're still talking relatively small numbers when comparing to competitors. So there's a lot of room to grow, not only for the chain, but K9 as well. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today on the spaces is that Shima, myself, and Turtle have been really working hard the last week or so at putting together a Dune Analytics dashboard. So right now, Dune Analytics is another very popular DeFi product where degens are going to get information on products and chains. So we have been basically upgrading our validator to be a full node where we can actually be taking the data from the entire chain and bringing all of that data to Dune Analytics and writing a script there to kind of import that data, and then creating a dashboard for exactly what K9 is doing, which is actually, it's very common with fully decentralized DeFi products. And some of the things that we're trying to pull in terms of data that our community is going to love are the total revenue. So all revenue that's coming into K9, you're going to be able to see it in a nice number. So whether that be from the validator, from zaps, from taxes, anything like that, it'll be fully transparent within that dashboard. Another cool thing is that we'll be tracking the amount of gas that's being used across the entire product and how much of that gas is being used to burn SHIB. So for those who are avid SHIB burn watchers, you'll be able to track, once we're finished this, how much SHIB is K9 directly burning from having a product on Shibarium. So very excited about that. Other cool metrics that'll be there is like the average bridge time. So how fast is the K9 bridge compared to others? There's going to be a top wallet leaderboard. So that'll include like which people have used Bone Crusher the most, which users have done the most transactions on Bone Crusher, which users have earned the most. So there's some users who have been posting wallet screenshots, earning a ton of Bone, hundreds of Bone daily, even I've seen in the cases of Sun people, and there'll now be a leaderboard. Well, once we're finished this dashboard, I don't want to put too much pressure on it because I know it sounds exciting, but there's a big data slog that comes with actually being the first mover to moving this information over to a platform like Dune. and you'll be able to see like wallets that are earning and wallets that aren't earning. So one thing that we discussed is that there's almost 90,000 Bone holders out there. Only a small fraction right now are using K9. There's a 25% APR opportunity right now for Bone. What's the opportunity cost of some of these wallets of not doing this? Which wallets are maybe delegating to a validator and not using liquid staking? So there's a ton of data that's going to come out of this dashboard, and there's a lot of thought that's gone into how we're going to structure this, but it's a lot of work. So don't expect it by next week or anything like that.
It makes me think of one word, and I want to say this word, and then I want to know if that word, what it means to you. Transparency. That's what this is, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's, everything that K9 does is transparent in the regard where you could go look, like you could go find all of this information on chain, but is your average person in our community, or any community rather, savvy enough to go find all of this and aggregate it and actually come up with meaningful insights? Probably not. It's a tall task, right? So putting all of that transparent data into a dashboard where your average Joe could glean insights from it is a priority right now. And it's something that I believe is going to build community and long-lasting effect. It's funny because we would never put a dashboard like this together if the results were not, like, we obviously know that the results are going to be extravagant. People are going to be able to go to this dashboard and be like, damn, K9 is doing some awesome stuff for Shibarium. Look at the revenue that the product's generating. Look at the wallets that are participating. Like, the data looks phenomenal. And we wouldn't be spending multiple weeks and doing this if it was we thought that the outcome was going to be bearish. So it's the transparent data paints a very great picture for K9. I think will be a great source for the community to look at and start to market and organically be talking about K9 and the successes that we're having with the product.
Yeah, man, there's something to be said about bringing receipts, because it's one thing to hype or live on hopium, or one of my favorite words is vaporware, where people make promises, and it all just disappears and stuff. But when you turn that paperwork around and go, look, man, this is aggregated data. This is what we bring. You can read it same as everyone else. It's on the chain, man. Check the chain, right? Check the chain. That's like a thing we're supposed to say. So check the chain.
Well, Shane, I know that you're big into like debating, and there's nothing better to bring to a debate than, hey, look at this data. It's pretty clear cut and dry. Like if you got somebody fudding or anything like that, it's like, well, here it is. Here's the data, and there's really no arguing concrete data on the blockchain.
Right. The ultimate FUD weapon is just to turn it over and be like, man, I'll be here when you're done reading. Let me know what you think. And if it's not good enough, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's the other best thing is once you've given it to them, it's like, I don't know what more you want, man. Some people you just can't please. That's always going to be a rule. And you have to remind people. Sometimes it's going to be like that. Turtle, when you think about all the work that's going into putting this on there, the work that you did to get people in the forum is the same thing. It's transparency. It's trying to show the process of how the DAO works. Now we've got transparency showing how Bone Crusher works and stuff like this. This is crucial, right? This is not something you get from other projects all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you read on the website and kind of the DAO charter and kind of outlining the ethos and mission of everything we're doing, it's just in line with what we determined to be best practices set by other leaders that are come before us, But as we all know, running a DAO is still a relatively new thing. So when operating, I think always erring on the side of being overly transparent is our view, right? We want to expose everything so that we can get everyone involved and really let the community run the protocol as intended.
And to that end, I would like to ask Buzz about a very important post he made this week, because learning and growing as a DAO apparently means participating in other DAOs. This is a super exciting conversation. What is Hummingbird DAO doing with us, Buzz? What was that post about?
Hummingbot. Think of it as like a platform that people can use to do trading, and like automated trading strategies and things like that. So we have jointly developed what's called a connector. So like anybody could kind of go on to Hummingbot. They have a very active trading community, and they could see that their software supports Shibarium and start to do automated trading strategies there. And their DAO needs to actually, so this is already built, something that we jointly built with another team, but So this software would already be available to us to use, but in order to reach other people who maybe just use Hummingbots and set up their own trading strategies, it needs to be on their website, like under the products they support sort of page. And their DAO needs to do a vote in order to include this. So this is something that's been in the works for probably over a month now, and we haven't really talked about it all, but it's something that's going to be very important. So as Shibarium starts to grow and stable coins are brought there and very deep liquidity pairs with ETH or Bone or whatever it may be, and or even SHIB USDT pairs and things like that, you need pricing that's in line with other chains. And what a connector like this allows you to do is make sure that the price of SHIB, the price of Bone, the price of USDT, price of K9 is consistent, not only with all pools on the Shibarium chain, but all pools on other chains as well. So it's this piece of software that was built, it's called a connector, and it's really about connecting traders with the right information they're gonna need to be trading algorithmically on Shibarium, as well as all the other chains that Hummingbot supports. So we feel it to be like kind of a 0 to 1 strategy. Like it's many people may be glossing over, like what the heck is Hummingbot? But this is used by a lot of very serious DeFi traders to make money as a full-time job. And
so what inspired this? Where'd you come across it? Something you already knew about?
Yeah, like Turtle has kind of been the brainchild behind like pushing and convincing us to put time into this. But like what inspired is just really identifying that there's opportunities on Shibarium that people are not currently executing. And we look at it from like a trading lens, like even something as simple as, KN Bone is cheaper than Bone. Well, there's a very easy arbitrage opportunity there. And we've been kind of beta testing this connector within that pool. And if people were to look at that pool right now, well, the price never deviates from KN Bone to Bone. So there's a case study there that it works. And we've just seen other opportunities too, where the price of K9 may be 5% more expensive on one DEX versus another on Shibarium. And when you give a tool like Hummingbot and get it into their official aggregated list, you're bringing other traders in who may want to participate in these opportunities. And that can only bring more volume, more traders, more interest, more TVL to Shibarium to actually start executing some of these opportunities.
Turtle, are you going to let him get away with brainchild? Do you like that? Does that fit?
I'll take it. No, yeah, I just, I have a background in using this particular software a few years ago and realized that we had a need in Shibarium to get kind of the basic infrastructure that I feel is kind of required for growth. Stable coins are important, but if the right tooling isn't in place to maintain the parity in stablecoin pools, then what's the likelihood of those pools existing? That kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's really a group effort. But hopefully we can create enough noise with the Hummingbot DAO snapshot vote. And we've pinged some of the internal connections we have to try to get it included in the main connector list, right? Like as Buzz said, anyone can use it now. The fork is available, so on and so forth. But the real goal is to get it to be part of the main repo.
So, and I'm just asking this, remember, sometimes I'm Pulse Digital and sometimes I'm K9. So right now I'm Pulse Digital. In a situation where we want to help, if that's something we want to encourage them to vote on, if you're not someone who can vote in this DAO, in Hummingbot's DAO, what do we do? How do we help? Do we need the K9 account to make the posts? Do we need to raid particular posts they have? Like, do we respectfully join their groups or try and communicate? Does a SHIB account itself repost something? What's our best way to get in, do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do think the respectful approach is the correct approach. This is a very technology-forward group, right? It's not like a meme coin community or anything. And I do think just raising their awareness respectfully in their socials or in their chat channels could be useful. As far as making announcements about it and et cetera, I do believe we have something on the list there, but we should probably look at some more ideas. That's a good point.
The reason I bring it up is just to reinforce that respectfully part, and you nailed it. It's not a meme coin thing. It's not a raid thing. It's not something where you're going to go copy and paste in the comments. You're trying to convince people that have governance tokens to make decisions about their protocol. Think about what it would take to sway your vote on a snapshot vote or a roundtable decision here if another community came in, and ask yourself how you would go into another community and do that. It's politics. That's what I'm talking about. Funk. This is crypto politics. We're sending delegates. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the famous expression is,
Bro, your mic is in a completely different place. Are you there?
hello, can you hear me?
Not very well. Are you on a Bluetooth?
Okay, wait, let me just, is this better?
Yes.
Okay, I think my volume was simply down. No, I mean, I appreciate you throwing me the mic on this. I think the expression is like you get more bees with honey than a stick or something like that. I don't know why that's the case. Bees make the honey. I don't know. I didn't make the expression. Maybe I need like a book of idioms or something like that. But you know, basically, if you go in and respect other people, you respect their products, you're very thankful, gracious, you're extremely, you just exude positivity towards what they have going on, and recognize you're the guest in someone's home, right? You don't go to a party and go in someone's home and then start, talking about the decor and how it could be better. And, you didn't like the food that they presented to you or something like that. It's just not good manners. And, so it's just kind of basic etiquette for whenever you are trying to network, collaborate with a community, that there's reciprocity, that, you're helping them, they're helping you. And then you're providing value to them and getting to know them too, not necessarily just getting in there and going right after what you want, but kind of just honor them and be professional in the approach. And again, the more intelligent you sound with that type of community, that demographic, probably the better you're going to do.
100%. I knew you'd get it. Buzz, go ahead.
Yeah, I was also just going to say that for anyone who's been in the K9 community since the start, I think we've kind of built up the reputation that we don't really do anything just like off the cuff. Like everything is very planned out, so we do have some relationships that we've built there with the Hummingbot team and some of the right people that we've already spoken to kind of get a pulse on whether or not we thought something like this would go through. So it's been very thoughtful over the course of the last 6 weeks or so, just putting in the time to actually build this, knowing that it had a very, very good chance of getting approved through their DAO, just based on the key leaders that we've spoken to there. So I don't think this is necessarily hinging on any shilling or anything like that of our community, but so we have a very, very good shot at getting it pushed through just because of the groundwork that was laid and just the best practices that we've already adhered to. So the community is kind of hearing about this as something that's at 99% to the finish line already.
All right. Well, I'm still going to go ahead and encourage everybody to maybe learn a little bit more about it, maybe join the communities. It sounds like something you'd be interested in. If you're already in one DAO and you've already taken the time to figure out how all of it works, a little cross-pollination with a hummingbird, if you would allow me to make that alliteration, maybe check it out, see what they're doing. You might find something over there too. Turtle, we have upcoming DAO proposals. Do you have anything new in the forum that you want to touch on, or anything that's getting ready to come up that you can talk about?
I do not have anything that's actually live yet. However, I would say within the next 24 hours or less, there will be some updates on the forum. If we can speak to them, I'll let Buzz be in charge of what is being shared now or not, but there will be a update by tomorrow. So I do encourage everyone to take a peek tomorrow and kind of see what the new proposals look like. The next roundtable call is on Wednesday next week on the 9th in the evening. So there will be a few proposals kind of going into that call.
Yeah, I can speak to them. Two of them are going to be more so requests for comments from the community. So there's two big things that we're thinking months out in advance of things that we just need requests for comments for. So the first one is that when Bone Crusher went live, the Management Council was granted a 90-day discretionary period to change the settings of the product. And part of that vote that went successful was that within 90 days, we would come up with a plan of how the DAO was going to own this very, very critical responsibility moving forward and not have it centralized. So there's this 90-day waiting period that we're in, and we want to start the conversation where how would the community like these decisions to be handled moving forward? So that'll be a request for comment that's going to be put in the forum. The second request for comment will be in regards to voting. So Shane, I know that you're abreast with this problem, so to speak, but the K9 DAO operates on Snapshot. Snapshot is not currently integrated on Shibarium, and all of our votes thus far have been on ETH. And unfortunately, a lot of our Shibarium holders, since bridging over, have not been able to participate in some of the votes. And now we have this really awesome problem, which I would call it, is that 90 billion K9 are locked up in our product. All of those people do have the voting rights within the DAO. So we've thought about the technical integration required to be able to represent their vote, but we are going to need a solution for those votes to happen and those votes to be represented. And I think it's going to be very important with some of the upcoming votes, like even a budget renewal and things like that. So we're looking for the community's input on the best way to move forward. So right now our options are really, Turtle's got to do it manually, and it'd probably take like 2 days worth of Turtle's time every time a vote comes up to manually put in people's wallet addresses in terms of what the voting share they would get from their Shibarium stake tokens onto ETH. I don't really love that option personally. And the other option is to wait, see if there's voting infrastructure that comes to Shibarium. We don't necessarily have many details on that. The other option is maybe only people on Ethereum can vote. I don't love that option either, because I think that people who have their tokens locked for a year or locked for a period of time within Bone Crusher definitely deserve to have a voice within the DAO. But that's why it's going to be a request to comment. We want people's input on what they think is the best path forward, and we'll present the challenges that we're going through and just hear from the community of what they think the best path forward is.
Again, transparency, just laying it all out to give everybody a chance to come in and write their comments. You guys remember forum.k9finance.com. That's going to be up there sometime. Nope. Maybe. Can you not hear me? Turtle, can you let it know?
K9 main is speaking. I hear everyone, so everyone is talking. So if you're not hearing K9 main, then you should leave and come back.
Yeah, everyone seems good to me as well.
All right, cool. So make sure you guys check out the forum, because he said in the next 24 hours that'll get posted up in there. It's a request for comment, which means you want to take your time, really think about what you're putting in there, because it's supposed to be a good conversation back and forth. I look forward to checking that out too, because like he said, that's something I'm interested in following up on. It's been a conversation that's been going on for months now, so look forward to going through that. The voting issue on Shibarium affecting 90 billion tokens is a significant amount too. And like he said, I don't like the idea of only Ethereum holders getting a vote. And that's just me saying that. Turtle, I'm sure that's not a good answer for you, but the 2 days of turtle time certainly is the worst option in your world.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer that isn't the option, but if it's a must, as usual, we'll figure it out. But I do think maybe the middle ground is the second option there, but we'll see how the discussion goes, and we'll see what the community decides.
That'll be good. Well, I look forward to everybody checking in on that. Before we move on, Funk, for marketing updates, since Buzz is circling back around, and I'll get back with him on some other stuff when he comes back. What's been going on for you last week?
Yeah, well, it's kind of similar to last week. Last week, I was kind of focused on reaching out to projects on Shibarium and getting those K9 pools made if they hadn't already, and kind of informing them and just kind of educating them about what the benefits to their token would be and their organizations for pairing with K9 Bone. So we've pretty much got all the major tokens on the Shibarium blockchain paired. So that kind of is run its course. And then I've been kind of moving to trying to educate, and you might have gotten DMs from me, just large bone holders, no pun intended, just kind of saying like, hey, have you looked at these APRs and things like that? And just kind of educating people brick by brick, so to speak, to quote the Bad Idea AI motto there of like trying to get more people to delegate their bone. And now my head's also in the place of how do I get more acquisition of people for K9? Someone posted in the chat, is it better for, as a user to go purchase Bone and then delegate it to our validator, or to purchase K9? And I think Obviously, there are pros and cons and weights to both of those things. It depends on token speculation, so we're not telling anyone, of course, what to do. But acquiring K9 is, at least in my opinion, the best thing that could happen for the ecosystem, purchasing K9 from the DEX and, helping the price action there. Of course, again, not financial advice. We're not advocating anyone do anything with money. So that's been kind of my focus there. But I'm moving towards looking at KOLs, specifically in the Shiba Inu space, potentially YouTubers, to just kind of get the information out there. And the biggest, most thing I want to emphasize is people being able to share those screenshots. I said it last week, but if we can get those in YouTube videos, if we can get those in X Spaces, people screenshotting their rewards. Hey, I've got $100 of escrow K9 in 2 weeks, which are like about my numbers, or I've got 100 bone in 2 weeks from like what I staked in my K9 or things like that. These really bring to life the opportunity that we're providing here at K9 Finance. In addition to those elements, you may have noticed the little hints going on, and I don't know if that's on your itinerary in the K9 main chat, and it's been a really fun little game there. We've had people guessing. A lot of people are thinking it's Pokemon, it's not, or something like that. Couch Adventures in the whale chat is sharp as attack. That guy's really picked up on and got the closest in the hints. He's kind of been piecing things together for how it all works. So it's been a fun little game where every day we slowly reveal the logo of a new product that's coming that I'm really excited about. I've put a lot of work into. That's kind of it for us. The announcement is going to be tomorrow about what that product actually is, as well as the logo. So you're going to get a lot of information there. And, you'll have to stay tuned for more details over that in the weeks to come about, what it means to K9 and why it's going to be part of the K9 ecosystem in any capacity. So look forward to that. It's been a fun little time.
And when you say us, you mean K9? It's a K9 product tomorrow?
Stay tuned for details. But of course, if it's being advertised from K9, then it's going to have a benefit to the K9 ecosystem. And it could be a K9 product. You don't know. We don't know. We haven't said it yet, but you'll find out tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. Buzz, do you have anything for the corner? Because I've got something lined up for you if you don't.
I always got stuff to talk about, but if you got something lined up, feel free to hit me. I'm good with talking about any topics.
Yeah, man. Why you been so boring lately? What's been going on with you? Why haven't you been doing anything? It's been so boring lately, Buzz. Why haven't you been doing anything? Just list us on all the tier ones already.
Yeah. I think what you're referring to is just the some of the incessant comments that kind of get posted on some of my tweets. The one today was funny. There was an individual who commented that I've become dull since the product launched on September 18th. And I guess all I really have to say to that is that it was a little bit ironic that comment was on a post about the Hummingbot integration, which I think is like I said, a 0 to 1 strategy with really trying to bootstrap more activity coming to Shibarium, and vis-a-vis that activity coming to K9 as being the most liquid pairs on Shibarium right now. There's, as you can tell from what we've been talking about in this space, there's currently been or recently has been no lack of work being done trying to benefit the product and come up with things like the new dashboard that's coming soon. There's a new website being worked on. There's a 2025 roadmap, which I think people are going to be very excited about. But on the roadmap topic, one thing I did want to note is that if you look at products that K9's looking to emulate, like go look at Frax, go look at Lido, go look at any of these liquid staking products on any chain. Once the main product is delivered, so the liquid staking product, there's rarely a public roadmap. It's a DAO roadmap. It's things that are being proposed. It's things that the development team is looking at as being very great opportunities to expand the addressable market of the product, always evaluating new opportunities that come up. And I think the most important way to think about a roadmap for K9 is that votes need to be happening in order to give budget and to give development flexibility to continue growing the addressable market for things that K9 can be doing. I don't think that any of our competitors are putting out very strict roadmaps of here's exactly what's going to happen in 2025, because things change so rapidly. I mean, there's many parallels that I could make about products putting out 4-year-long roadmaps and then the market shifting, and maybe they're kind of stuck in delivering products that may have been very exciting in the 2022 sort of crypto era that they're still trying to deliver coming up on 2025, and maybe it's not as exciting. And what we're going to be focused on with K9 is how do we continue providing more value to the DAO, continue growing our addressable market, and most importantly, continuing bringing in revenue for a revenue generating product as well. And that really comes with forum and DAO participation versus a small group of individuals coming up with a static roadmap that's going to be followed.
I totally get that. It'll be interesting to see how everybody reacts, because everybody always looks for a roadmap, but being able to stay dynamic matters. Being able to pivot, being able to make those decisions, I think.
I cannot hear the K9 account anymore if you're talking.
Brutal.
I might have to come up again.
Yeah, Buzz, you need to rejoin.
He's speaking, so you're going to have to do another trip.
I'll round trip him one more time, but we're about wrapped up anyway here, so we'll get it back up one more time, and then we'll do the closure as we get through with everything. I was just going to say how important it is to have that dynamic ability to pivot. It's that hacker, old school mentality, being able to make those decisions right on the spot. And Turtle, for you, the same thing. Not having a roadmap is a bit of freedom, isn't it? It's like not having a tight leash.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the vertical that we're in, right? Like with liquid staking, one of the critical things that need to be true in order for it to exist on a chain is some form of decentralized sequencing. And kind of where the landscape is in LSDs, in liquid staking, is that's on the horizon for all of the big chains and is in development or live on really many others. So it's really like a ripe time for growth in that area. So I do think being nimble is like very critical because things change overnight.
Yep, that's why it matters. You don't want to get caught stuck in place and see the market moving around you and not being able to pull your boots out of the mud, so to speak. I still see Buzz in the speaker spot. Did he come? He didn't slide back up in here. Are you still here?
I slid back up. I can hear everything now.
Right on. Cool, man. Welcome back. Yeah, we were just talking about how important it was. I was asking Turtle about being able to stay agile and how important it was for you guys to make that decision. So I'm sure you agreed with all that, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think oftentimes roadmaps are so important for products or projects who are pre-product to show, okay, what is this going to be once it's live? But once it's live, you're really evaluating in real time, like how do you improve? How do you get more users? How do you increase the revenue of your product? And we're in such a great spot right now as the DAO, where we have an incredibly healthy treasury. I've brought this up before, but I think our treasury is actually larger than our market cap, our circulating market cap, that is, which is crazy. I've only seen that a couple times in crypto history. And I think with the DeFi Llama integration, we're hoping that more people see that, like, wow, this project really has a war chest to be making some key strategic moves to grow its feet here and really run like a dog. But we're at a pivotal moment where the product has had some amazing success being launched in Shibarium. It's the metrics speak for itself. The treasury is very, very strong. The APRs are very, very strong, and it's about evaluating what are the best opportunities that come next. We're very excited for that.
So I'm sure everybody else is very excited. I know there's 90 billion staked token holders that are pretty excited, at least so far. That's the metric I can measure. Before we head out of here, we got a little bit of time left at the end here. I'll let everybody do a little bit of closure before we head out. Funk, do you have any final thoughts before we shut her down for the day and send everybody back on their way?
Not much. Just good job, everyone. The community, the K9 Army is what makes this all possible. It's what makes the numbers all possible. And I just have humility and thankfulness for everyone that puts in the work in the day to day, and the community that's been built here, as well as the management council, the team as well. So, and thank you as well, man, for hosting these. You do a great job.
Yep, appreciate you, bud. Thank you for coming in and being part of them every time. Turtle, final thoughts?
Spread the word about Bone, get people aware of the platform, make a forum account, because tomorrow there'll be good things to provide feedback on, and enjoy the rest of your week. That's all I got.
And Buzz, final thoughts, man?
I just did see a message come in from Entropy, who she probably is listening to the space, but just as a call to the community, because she's been really spearheading a lot of the cheat sheets that have been written and helping people understand the product and use the product. So if there are any content that's been put out recently that you like, whether it be the how to stake your K9 or how ES K9 works, or any content that you find is very valuable in helping you use the product, that type of feedback is super helpful. It just allows the marketing team to hone in on their efforts and what's going to make the best impact. I mean, K9 DAO we're a huge community. We're a growing community, but there's a small number of people that are working to of course, develop and create content. So the more that we get feedback on content that was really, really good and the community likes, the more that we can hone in efforts on that and potentially put less focus on other things that the community doesn't like. So community feedback is always very helpful, and the more pointed and specific that feedback is, the better.
Sounds good. And I appreciate Entropy for sending that in. We've also got those cheat sheets are pinned in the highlights on the X account as well as in the Telegram. So if you guys ever need them, just ask. You can get them, spread them around, help everybody learn about K9 and the product, because that's what we do every week here on Thursday at the K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, the best community show on X, available once a week for 1 hour or less for just this limited amount of time. This is 37 weeks in a row, 38 next week. If you follow us, you'll get the notification to pull up next time. I would like to personally extend my gratitude to the administrators and moderators in the K9 groups and chats. We know every little day that you got bots coming in and scams popping up. There was a new email scam that Buzz was fighting today. These little things are going to keep happening, and I would like to say thanks to the administrators and the moderators in the Telegrams, because I'm over here on X and you guys are over there, and I want to make sure that we mix it up. So I appreciate you. Also, thank you to the Shib account for coming by and hanging out as speaker again today. You guys know we appreciate your support, and we support Shiba Inu through liquid staking and our continued efforts to build out Shibarium and beyond. My name is Pulse Digital. I'm K9 Finance today for the Thursday edition of the weekly DAO Update Spaces. I'll catch you 7 days from now. I appreciate you. Have a great day.